Hello again. Oh my goodness. We have been inundated with amazing guests today, and we have another one right with us today. Hello, good morning, Joff Crabtree. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning to both of you.
Fantastic. Now, I was going to do an intro, but I thought if it's okay that maybe you could introduce yourself to the listeners and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. Well, I'm one of a team of around 35 advisors with Business Station. We're delivering the Australian Government's Digital Solutions Program, formerly known as ASBAS.
Yes, I'm familiar. I love ASBAS. Love it. There's a lot of love going on today with Valentine's Day, but I definitely love ASBAS. Yep.
And it's a great opportunity for myself. I've been a small business owner. I've had multiple attempts at running my own small business, and it's a very lonely path when you're a one-person business.
Yep.
So now I have this team nationally that I can reach out to for any particular specialisation and have a group discussion around any of the challenges that our business clients are coming up with.
That's fantastic to have that support behind you. And there is a special lady that we mentioned earlier who kind of heads up Business Station here in Perth, and she actually has a lot of involvement over East as well, which is the lovely Agatha Dharma.
Yes, Agatha is quite a powerhouse as the program manager for digital solutions. She is a massive advocate for all of us. We are all aiming for the same goal of helping small businesses, and that's really what we're all passionate about.
Yep. And so tell me a little bit about how much does it cost to join, or what is offered. If I'm a new business person, I've decided that I don't actually want to go back to my job because apparently the big resignation is coming and I'm going to start my own business, but I need a bit of digital help and support. Where do I begin?
Hopefully you're not resigning from the station, just some other job. Look,
No.
it's fabulous because it's funded or it's supported by the Australian government, so it's heavily subsidised. It only costs $40 plus GST, and you get 3 one-hour sessions with an advisor like myself.
That's incredible
That
value
is-
for
that is
money.
Great value.
I wouldn't be able to deliver this kind of support to small businesses if I was self-employed. I wouldn't be able to pay my mortgage. But with this, I not only can help small businesses in a much greater capacity, but also connect them to specialists with specific skills in what they're after. And alongside those 3 1 hours, you also get at least 4 hours of workshops and webinars. We have an online learning platform. The package is amazing. It's
Huge.
Yeah.
It sounds like an absolute incredible platform for anybody if they're not quite sure where to start. Literally, I guess, pick up the phone and get in touch with somebody at Business Stations. Would that be correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And look, we do also offer free 15-minute consultations. So if someone's not sure about the program, then they can book with one of the advisors and have a discussion, generally via a Zoom or a Teams chat.
Yep.
And we can explain the program and sort of give them an idea of how we might address the main challenge that they're facing.
And do you know the wonderful thing is as well, because we're based in WA, which is huge, obviously, and a lot of people, because of COVID, are now working remotely. So therefore, we don't have to go to a paid office space anymore. We work at home as a digital nomad with a laptop and a mobile phone. But so what you're saying is we don't actually have to come and visit your office. We can actually connect with you for a free consultation, maybe over the phone or via Zoom?
Correct. So we deliver the program across WA, Northern Territory and Queensland. And so I'll have sessions with clients in any of those 3 states throughout the week.
Yep.
And Zoom sessions all the time. It's certainly a different space. I guess the pandemic has pushed forward that digital agenda so quickly that we're all having to adapt to an online space.
Yes.
But it is something where we get to connect to so many more people and just share those common challenges that we face as business owners.
I love that word pivot. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know what the word pivot meant apart from when I was at netball when I was 16.
I was going to say, it's a strong word in netball.
Pivoting my business 2 years ago when I was crying into my wine glass on St. Patrick's Day on March the 17th, when a lot of my business clients closed their doors because everything stopped on that week because of COVID. And I had to learn how to pivot my business. And ASBAS, the old ASBAS program, and a lot of the experts and advisors such as yourself have really equipped me as a business owner with knowledge and confidence, I think is fair to say, on how to conduct Zoom interviews, how to conduct my own one-to-one career coaching sessions on Zoom. And had I not had that support available, I would have been left floundering.
Absolutely. I'm really pleased to hear that. And it's been such an amazing journey already. I've only been in the program since August last year, but the amount of roadblocks I've been able to help business owners overcome, it's just really rewarding to see that there is this opportunity to unlock that business challenge that you might be facing.
Fantastic. And that's so exciting, because when you're on your own, like you say, it's really imperative to have that additional support, guidance, just somebody that you can call and go, help, as I want to shout out sometimes. So what's coming up?
I was about to say, even myself as an advisor, it's great when I get stuck with something and I do meet with a client who I go, I'm not quite sure how to address this one, that I can reach out and connect that business with one of our other advisors nationally. I guess what is next? The program is continuing, and it's just about us improving the way that we deliver the program to make sure that it's suiting clients. So we really love feedback. We really love people getting involved and getting involved in the live workshops that are online. They're essentially another advisory session where you can talk to the advisor while they're discussing a particular topic, and they can tailor the presentation to the audience that's there at the session. So rather than watching it on replay, and certainly Business Station's YouTube channel is full of, I think, nearly 1,000 videos now of from our advisors.
I didn't know that, and I should know that. But do you know what? I'm so glad you've shared that today. So I'm just going to actually stall for a second and repeat that, get you to repeat that.
Sure.
So if somebody wanted to connect with Business Station, but they weren't quite sure, but they could go onto YouTube, there are actually taped sessions, recorded sessions that have taken place already.
Yes. Yep. So the best way is actually to go to the Business Station website at businessstation.com.au.
Great.
And there are links on the side to all the social media channels, so you can get an idea of the sorts of content that's being posted. We have a community of business owners on our Facebook page that are sharing some of the challenges and opportunities that come up for them.
Yep.
And obviously all of the advisory workshops and webinars are listed on YouTube.
Yep.
So it gives you a taste of what to expect from different advisors. And as I said, you can also book a free 15-minute consultation as well if you're not sure and want to chat directly with one of the advisors.
A lot on offer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Heaps on offer. I know what I'm going to be doing this afternoon.
Me too.
But I've also got something else that I want to talk to you about specifically, which is something that I found incredibly helpful, and I think our listeners are going to find very, very helpful to learn tips about. Talk to me about Google and SEO.
Well, that does seem to be one of the things that I get a lot of client referrals for. And I guess the main advice I could give is to really think about the language that you use, both in the content and the menu items and the way that you describe your business, to what an online audience is looking for. So most of the sessions I advise someone to type in some of the main keywords into a Google search, and there's a section within a lot of search results called People Also Ask, and it gives some questions. So it kind of indicates the sort of questions people might ask about that particular topic.
Yep.
And down the bottom, there's related searches as well. So that gives a really early indication of what are the key things around this topic that people are searching for.
Yep.
And then also within the Google Ads platform, there is a tool called Google Keyword Planner. It's free to use. You don't need to pay anything to start a Google campaign, but it gives you an indication of a particular search term and related keywords, the volume that might that is searched per month.
Yes,
and you can start shortlisting some of the best words for your business.
That's great. And I must admit, I'm very, very lucky, because once upon a time, a few years ago, when I did start my business out, I connected with somebody who was actually through ASBAS and taught me these tools. And the reason I'm asking you to share with our listeners is because I think it is critical in their business to understand if you're going to actually look up a service or a product, even a store, there are things called keyword optimization or search engine optimization, which is shortened for SEO.
Correct.
And because of that, I actually changed the way I operated my business. And And I'm forever grateful to Asbaz for that, because the expert that shared that knowledge with me, it allows me to actually have customer referrals to my business every day. And I do not pay for advertising in my business ever. An additional point, which I'm going to ask you to share, if that's okay, is the benefits of Google reviews, please. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
So I guess the Google reviews is a critical element in any marketing plan, because it is something where mobile marketing, or what Google call micro moments, have become so important. We've all got a mobile device, or, well, that's an assumption. Most of us have a mobile device. And it's being in the moment of going, I want to find information, or I want to find a local business, or I want to learn how to do something that people are on their devices, and often if they're driving, they might be doing a voice search, that it's critical to then have a Google My Business listing that says, even if you don't have a physical address, you can still list the areas that your business services, and you come up there. The Google reviews are there for your prospective customers. So if someone's not sure, they may have even been to your website, or they're not sure what businesses do provide those services, they can do a Google Maps search, and they can get an indication of how many past customers have been satisfied with the service delivered by the business.
Which is honestly so valuable. It's, people talk about Bitcoin. Let me tell you, you need to get onto Google reviews.
It's a concept called social proof. So it's proving from a social audience that this business is legitimate and is attending to customer service. And as a business owner, it's really important to have that listing. So when a review comes through, it's sending it to your email and responding, whether it's a positive review that you're acknowledging and saying, thanks so much for the feedback. If it's negative, the best thing you can do is invite them to call you or email you directly and take that discussion offline. And it shows that you're being proactive and still delivering service after the sale.
Yes.
Which is wonderful. But I was very lucky. I've got 110 five-star Google reviews in my business
Amazing.
in about 18 months. And so, but I can thank Asbaz for that knowledge, because had I not learnt that, to ask, because the secret is as well to try to ask people to give you a review.
Absolutely. It's the psychological concept of reciprocity, where you've delivered a great service and you just ask, and they want to provide that review for you. It's such a game changer just to ask, because people go, oh, great, I'm going to go away and follow your advice, but they haven't necessarily thought that I should leave a review at that moment. So really important just to ask and get over that little roadblock you might have in not having the confidence to ask for a review. Or even sending a follow-up automated email that says, thanks so much for being a customer. Here's a link to our Google My Business listing. Please, if you've got any feedback, leave us a review.
And I love it, because I'm going to actually kind of align this to one of our previous guests, or two previous guests. So already we've had Lisa Kanebi on this morning, and so she's the online success course coach. And so if you've got any courses online, or Sarah from Online Social Butterfly was telling us, if you do webinars and you want people to connect with you via social media, this is another way. So to get traffic into your business, because I know if I'm looking for the butcher, the plumber, the baker, the first thing I do is Google them. And
Absolutely.
But the second thing I do is I will look at the Google reviews.
Yes.
So I'm so grateful.
One other point in terms of having a Google My Business listing. If you look at any Google search result with maps, you have the map sitting above the first. So you have the paid ads come first, then the Google Map listing, and then the first website result, and so on. So having a Google My Business listing and optimized for that keyword, you're going to appear above the first search result.
Yes,
and making you competitive.
Love it. You heard it here first. And so, well, we're going to be talking more to you in a little while, so do not go anywhere, because, we're going to talk a little bit about your journey as well, and potential future partnerships with IPL, which is so exciting. But before we go anywhere, we're going to have a bit of Akadaka on Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Oh, how cool was that? A bit of Beyonce. Were you shaking your butt? I was shaking my butt on Valentine's Day. Yeah. Well, I'm going to let you into a little secret, actually. So I met my husband on Valentine's Day 19 years ago, and we actually got married 3 months later. And so...
What a whirlwind.
And at that time, I was working on a cruise ship, but I did not have an engagement ring. And before we emigrated to Australia, we got our house together on one thing and the other. And so my husband surprised me with a beautiful engagement ring 5 years later. And so, yeah, and that was very romantic indeed. And so I wear my engagement ring with pride. So, yeah, so for all you single ladies out there, I understand sometimes it is about putting a ring on it. However, moving on, we are still in great company today with the amazing Joff Crabtree, get my words out correctly. Right. And so from Business Station. Now, you've got an interesting story yourself. And if it's okay, I'd like to ask you, how did you get into what you're doing now?
It's an interesting journey. I've gone in a lot of different directions, I guess. So when I left school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And so I was in hospitality for quite a few years. And my father is a software engineer, so he sort of got me into considering computers. And around the dot-com boom, so late 90s, early 2000, yep. I studied in IT, and so did everyone else apparently. So the market got flooded, and I've worked in a number of roles from IT support. My first role actually was a small internet service provider in Subiaco, which I met with the owner just last week, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the people I worked with took on the business. Yep. But I've been in a number of roles that have given me that sort of broad understanding of digital technologies. My niche, however, has been in sort of filling the gap between very technical terms and the people that don't necessarily understand the technology or find it a bit too confusing to sort of essentially translate between the two different languages.
Yes.
A lot of work as a technical project manager, but I've done some interesting roles to get to that point. Everything from managing music festivals as an event coordinator to a contract manager for a project out in Afghanistan for a supply services company to everything in between. And the gaps in there when I haven't had a full-time role have been running my own business.
Okay. Now, you did actually share with me something interesting, or you shared with us something interesting in the break personally about you. And if you're happy, because to share, we'd be delighted to hear what you mentioned to us.
Yeah, so I was saying that I am neurodiverse. I am lifelong ADHD. Probably wasn't until I was around mid-30s that I actually decided I need some strategies around managing everything that's going on. Yep. And went and got a diagnosis and medication. That's absolutely just transformed how I go about things from my personal life to my professional life, and really putting some foundations around how to be more present with what I do. So learning mindfulness and CBT and NLP, all of those things that are needed to really take the self-criticism and the sort of narrative that we might have when we're trying to run a business and getting hit by obstacles.
Yes.
To just be accepting of that journey and the challenges that come up.
Yeah.
And I think and I'm so grateful that you shared that, because so many of our listeners, I have no doubt, will actually have faced or are facing the same type of challenges every single day. And here at IPL, we actually have our own mental health first aid training, which is Tris really does champion that. Tris is actually the owner of the radio show. But yeah, they are super supportive here. For anyone with mental health challenges, and offer, support wherever possible. So that's amazing that you were kind enough to share that with us here today.
Thank you. I'm actually a massive advocate for the mental health first aid course, and it's great to know it's delivered here as well. So I have done the course, and it's just, even though I knew a few things around that space, just to really solidify it, and the support from both the other people in the course at the time, but the materials that are provided by Mental Health First Aid Australia are invaluable, really sort of linking what each mental health condition means, and a number of resources and contact numbers at the end of each section.
It provides such an awareness, because I too can relate to that, and I think anybody, and I will just say it, anybody out there, if you've never been on a mental health first aid course, I think it's really valuable. I was very fortunate that I worked in disability employment services for 2 years, and so a lot of my caseload had mental health challenges. However, it was just so enlightening, and you don't know what you don't know. So don't just assume, actually get educated, because then you have a new tool that you're equipped with when you ever go out and meet somebody, and it might be a child, it might be a young person, it might be a more mature person, but I'm with you. I think they're incredible, and they're very valuable courses to have.
Absolutely. And what you just said there about disability, I mean, ADHD is a diagnosed disability, but it is an invisible disability.
Yep.
And so it's really just not making too many assumptions. I am high functioning. I can communicate fairly well, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So very well.
It's not apparent that I would have a disability.
Yep.
And so it's been so rewarding for me to just share that openly and say, this is me, and I'm going to share my journey with as many people as I can, and hopefully that encourages others to then share theirs as well.
And that's incredible. And we're so appreciative that you shared your story with us. And we're so grateful that you came in today to talk to us, because, yes, you heard it here first, you are going to be a regular on the IPL team. Is that correct?
That is correct, yep.
Yay!
So
that's exciting.
So exciting.
I don't know day or time slot yet, but I'd love to share some more of my journey and bring in some of the amazing people I've connected with. One of the small businesses through Digital Solutions is also a mental health first aid trainer who is familiar to these parts as well. And I've got a few other businesses that really are sharing that journey in terms of trying to help our community with improving mental health. So I'd be really excited to connect them with the station.
Yes.
Well, we absolutely love it, and we're so grateful to have you here today. So thank you so much for coming in. I cannot wait to have you back on the Karen and Aly Monday morning motivation show.
I look forward to that.
Fantastic. And sharing more insights and tips, because you clearly are the expert. But before we let you go, remind us, how do people find you specifically and reach out to you?
Well, I do have my website at joffcrabtree.com, but the best way is through the Business Station website, businessstation.com.au. You can learn all about the Digital Solutions program. You can see all of the advisors. My advisory page also has the link to book a free 15-minute consultation, a link to my LinkedIn, and a link to my website, so you can see everything about me there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks so much for the invite.
It's been a pleasure, and best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again soon.
I look forward to it.
Now it's time for Ed Sheeran, Beautiful People.